What if I told you that your current life is just a reflection of past thoughts, emotions, and habits? Want to change your life? Change the patterns. This is part 2 for why you want to know how to break the habit of being yourself, aka change your personality, so that you can create a new personal reality. Let's talk about it. As someone who talks a great deal about personal transformation and self-mastery, it wasn't until I came into the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza through his book Becoming Supernatural, and then later on through his coursework, the intensive and the progressive, that I really truly dug my roots into doing this work. Because for me, it wasn't about being able to manifest something out of thin air. I've done that. You've done that. We've done that. The problem arises when you find yourself in a set of patterns that you feel are beyond your control, yet you don't have the tools to overcome them. This is where shit gets real. When I found myself in crisis mode, I realized that the traditional lanes of therapy was not going to work for me. It wasn't enough for me to sit and talk about what happened, because I knew just from my own spiritual journey that talking about the problem is not beneficial. Abraham and Esther Hicks teaches that if you keep talking about it, you're literally essentially giving it life. So I knew that that was not the model that was going to work for me. But when I came across Dr. Joe's work, I started to understand that it had nothing to do with external circumstances or sources. It had everything to do with who I was being moment to moment. Neville Goddard is another favorite teacher of mine who points in this direction. Who you are constantly being is why you are rendering the results that you are rendering. And until you change your state of beingness, until you change what thoughts and emotions you want to align with, then you will continue to create from the space of whatever personality you currently have. And if that's not working for you, you got to break that habit. Dr. Joe gives a wonderful formula for how to do this. And one of his main methods is through meditation. I'll get into that method in another video. But for now, the work that I'm doing has been beneficial in such a way that I show up different. I'm no longer anxious when it comes to the unknown. In fact, I learned to embrace the unknown. I'm breaking the pattern of how I emotionally relate to my life. I'm also improving relationships because I'm showing up different in each dynamic. To take things a lot further, I'm understanding that I don't have to chase anything in my life. Because if I become the version of me who is uber magnetic, who trusts life to understand that everything is always working for me, I am rewiring my brain. And as a result of rewiring my brain, I get to show up differently. I get to emotionally relate to everything in my world differently. And therefore, I do things differently. This is how I broke the habit of being my old self and stepped into a new identity, which is rendering new things in my life. Stay tuned for part 3 on what actually works when you use this formula.